Hey, Magic friends. Welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. We're going to hit you up. Magic the Gathering or Magic Con GP, whatever you want to call it. Minneapolis is happening this weekend, and we've found a place that's got everything together. It's what's happened so far, so let's run through it. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 peeps. So, at Minneapolis, it's only Friday, so I'm sure there's more to come, and I should probably lay off the liquor. Anyway, um, so tons of things happening from Minneapolis. We got tons of things to go over. We've got Universes Beyond Doctor Who, Wilds of Eldraine, Commander. We have Lord of the Rings and Arena on Steam. We probably don't care about that one, but anyway. So let's talk a little bit here. So they unveiled a load of new details about the next 4 releases, giving some in-depth about Lord of the Rings, the Commanders, Universes Beyond, Doctor Who, and the Wilds of Eldraine. So down here we have Universes Beyond. You can see here another great picture from the 10th Doctor. This is going to be a set with just Commander decks. Here is a picture of the 4 decks that we have. So this is really sweet. So the 4 decks are going to be as listed. We have Blast from the Past, a Bant green, white, blue deck focused on classic series, including the first 8 Doctors and their companions. Next, we have the Timey Wimey, a Jeskai blue, red, white deck based on the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctors. And then Paradox Power, a Teamer green, blue, red deck featuring the 12th and 13th Doctor. Finally, we have Masters of Evil, a Grixis deck. Why not? Blue, black, and red deck based on the Doctor's biggest villains, starring the Dilax, Cybermen, and the Masters. So, pretty good lineup. I like where they're going so far. Looks pretty sweet. It also says here, while we weren't showing any cards, we were shown it takes on partner. The Doctor's companions allow you to run both the Doctor and a companion as your commanders. Okay, that makes sense. And each face commander will only be 1 card. It's possible it will be used for a secondary commanders, 10 and Rose, for example, or 13 and Yaz. So, interesting. Next here we have another big inclusion in the decks will be 19 sagas based on key episodes from each Doctor area, including The Fugitive Door, The War Doctor, the key sagas based on key villains. So far, the only one that we have seen is the 9th Doctor's final episode, The Parting of Ways. But these guys are holding out that we'll see Heaven Sent, Day of the Doctor. Day of the Doctor was amazing. And Midnight get similar treatments. Very nice look there. Doctor Who will also see the return of Plane Chase. So I talked about this in a previous video about Doctor Who, that Plane Chase could be in this set, and it looks like we're getting back to it, which is sweet. They just came back in March Machines, which is why I kind of thought that. So first off, we have the Lux Foundation Library, seen in the 10th Doctor story, Silence of the Library. To mimic that story's flesh-eating shadows, the Vashta Nurda, I probably pronounced that wrong, sorry guys. This playing card can give creatures shadow counters, a rare comeback for the mechanic. If you guys remember Shadow, only creatures could block creatures with Shadow, so they basically were unblockable. And here you have it. Here is the Lux Foundation Library. Players have no max hand size also. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Very nice. Chaos is when you put a shadow counter on something, and it tells you what having shadow means, which is like we talked about. You cannot block a creature without shadow unless the other creature blocking has shadow. So talks about here in total each deck will have 50 new cards, including 10 Plane Chase cards. We haven't seen any specific cards yet, but we're likely to see more at the first look on July 28th. And the full debut on October 3rd, with the actual launch coming October 13th. Still going to have to wait a little bit longer. I'm sure some other stuff will probably leak out before then, but this is a really good start. I like it. It is phenomenal. Off to a good start. Let's hope they don't blow it. But this is Hasbro. But anyway, next we have the Wilds of Eldraine, so we get a first look here. A new look at the next major set, which is Wilds of Eldraine. Again, fairy tale inspired Eldraine. Set after Martial Machines, the sleeping spell that was used to fight the Phyrexians is now said to be spreading further than intended, with King and Queen of Eldraine also dead. A power vacuum has been made. We'll go with that. Left to be filled by the Kenneth Friends, who appear to be at war with each other over the future of the plane. So very interesting that Rowan and the other ones and will be fighting each other. They've always been together as planeswalkers on cards. It's very interesting. It says here we'll also saw the return of Ashiok, who was last seen tormenting Elish Norn in the Phyrexian side story. And best of all, confirmation will finally have a card for Sire Ginger. Oh, very nice. Sire Ginger was the first introduced in the Thorn of Eldraine cinematic trailer and has since become a heavily requested character, thus making a cameo appear in Unfinity. So here she is, Sire Ginger. Be cool. So there'll be two commander decks also with this product apparently. We'll have Virtue and Value, Celestia deck green-white, focused on buffing your creatures and crushing your foes, counters. Fey Dominion, which is Dimir blue-black deck with fairies, where you summon flocks of fairies and play tricks. Basic fairies deck. So we have a tokens deck, or counters deck, and a fairies deck. Seems very underwhelming, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's our first look at the products. We'll have draft boosters, set boosters, obviously, and the collector boosters, and then, pre-release kits, bundles, and the commander products. And actually, you can see a little bit of a picture there of what not the best looking pictures, but whatever. So, next up, that will be also around August 15th, with the formal launch being around September 8th. So, next up, we have Commander Masters. We have 4 commander decks that were presented. Here's the list of what they are. We have Eldrazi Unbound, the first colorless commander precon, headed up by Zuladak, Void Gorger. He helps you throw out as many Eldrazi as possible by giving all colorless spells the mana value 7 or higher, 2 cascade triggers when cast from your hand. That's insane. Next, we have Enduring Enchantments. In another first for the commander precons, this white, black, green deck is led by an enchantment creature, Annie Ketha, Hand of Erebos. She can turn your enchantments into enchantment creature zombies from the graveyard, making this a go-wide enchantment-heavy recursion deck. Very interesting. Next, we have Planeswalker Party, otherwise known as Super Friends. Jeskai, a blue-red-white deck that features one of the most obscure characters in Magic history, Commodore Guff. Okay? Guff is best known as one of Urza's 9 Titans and effectively stopped the first Phyrexian invasion by merely erasing their history from his history book. This deck looks set to be a very Planeswalker heavy, letting you build them up with free loyalty counters every turn. Interesting. And finally, but not lastly, we have Sliver Swarm, another Painbow deck where it's going to be released with the infamous Sliver creature type, which snowballs out of control quickly. The commander is the Sliver Gravemother this time. Lets you encore slivers from your graveyard while even turning off the legend rule for your slivers to let you bring back legendary ones for extra value. Wow. I'm sure that's going to really drive the price of slivers up. Next. We also seen here, in Commander Masters, some of the cards they talked about, they will be reprinting a Personal Tutor. This is a very expensive card, only printed in the... Oh, I'm having a brain fart. What was it in? Portal sets. Oh, wow. That almost lost me there. And then we have Heart of the Wilds coming back. That's okay, I guess, but I'm really shocked about Personal Tutor. Then we go to Lord of the Rings. They give us the idea of what the means to be tempted by the ring. So, it says here, whenever you're tempted by the ring, you get to create an emblem, which is this right here called the ring. And you may assign one of your creatures as a ring bearer. You don't need a creature in play the first time you're tempted, as you'll be able to define a new ring bearer each time you're tempted. So, the ring. So what it says here is your ring bearer is legendary and can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard. Also, whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it into combat. Whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. Obviously, this is going to be real big in Commander. and it's probably going to see some play in the Eternal formats because this is obviously also very powerful. And so when it talks about the ring tempting you, so as the ring tempts you, you get an emblem named the ring, and if you don't have one, then your emblem gains its next ability, and you choose a creature you control to become and remain the ring bearer. So then you get these 4 things here. The ring can tempt you even if you don't control a creature. The ring gains its abilities in order from top to bottom. Once it gains an ability, it has that ability for the rest of the game. Okay, so you don't get all this at once. When you put it on a creature, you get the first one, second, third, so forth and so on every time you get tempted. Okay. Each time the ring tempts you, you must choose a creature you control. If you control one, each player can have only one emblem named the ring and only one ring bearer at a time. So not terribly overpowered, but I can see this getting out of hand very quickly, and I can see where it can probably be abusable. We'll talk about that later. So, moving on. Next, we have another card leak here, Call of the Ring, black and 1 enchantment. It says, beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you. Whenever you choose a creature as your ring bearer, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. This, in itself, is amazing for a mono black deck, and we'll probably see lots of play in the extended formats. Next here, we actually got a peek of Sauron, the Necromancer. So 2 black and 3, 4/4 menace. Whenever he attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. Create a tap and attacking copy. That's a copy of that card, except it's 3/3. A black wraith with menace. At the beginning of your next end step, exile the token unless Sauron is the ring bearer. Very interesting. So, pretty sweet. And then it talks about the arena stuff, which nobody cares. So, that's what you got so far, guys. Also with that, let's take another quick look over here. There's another thing about Commander Masters that came up. Quick cards we already know about. We know about the Jewel Lotus. We know about the Ur-Dragon. Captured of Zhongzhou. Personal Tutor has now been added to the list. Here are the 3 Personal Tutor cards. All very sexy. I like this one the best. And then, of course, Savannah, Heart of the Wilds. We have what the Commander stuff is going to look like. Here's a picture of the actual Commanders from Commander Masters. Here's Zuladak, the Void Gorger. It's very interesting. It almost looks like he's meditating, which is kind of neat and funny in its own sense. And he only costs 6. It's very easy to get this guy out. So, after that, we have Anakatha, the Hand of Erebos. Beautiful artwork on her. I like her a lot. 5 mana, 4/4. We've already talked about what she does, so that's a great card as well. And here he is, Commander Guff, the man, the myth, the legend who can erase history. Anyway, so as a Planeswalker here, it says at the beginning of the upkeep, a loyalty counter on another target Planeswalker you control, so you can just put loyalties on shit for free. Oh man, I just cussed so much for getting money out of this video. Oh well, try harder next time. +1, create a 1/1 red wizard creature token that has tap, add a red, spend this mana only to cast a Planeswalker spell. That is insane. And then -3, draw X cards, and Commodore Guff deals X damage to each opponent where X is the number of Planeswalkers you control. Insane. Yeah, we already talked about their ability. We talked about his ability. All this stuff was on Commander Guff stuff, or maybe I missed it. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. So here is your Sliver Gravemother. Not a bad looking card. Definitely very sliverish-ish. Anyway, what it has is the legend rule doesn't apply to slivers you control, so automatically, ba-boom. Then each sliver you control in your graveyard has Encore X, where X is its mana value, and this card itself has Encore. What that means for you is you can lay this for 5 out of your command zone. If they kill it and it goes to the graveyard, there is no reason for you to put it in the command zone. You literally can Encore it for 5 again the next turn, then let it go to your command zone. I mean, unless you don't want to do that, but it's a sliver deck. Why wouldn't you want to just get it in plays as often as possible? But anyway, point being, moving on. So there you have it. As far as Commander Masters goes, here's the set debut for it. Debut and previews July 11th. Deck previews 17th to 20th. Card image galleries will be complete on the 21st. Pre-release with loading ready run will be 22nd. Store events will start July 28th. The 30th Command Zone podcast extra turns gameplay August 2nd. Tabletop launch August 4th. So hope you guys liked it. I will leave you with a bit of guffage. But bump. So, till next time, be kind. And as always, hope to see you across from the game table. And I will keep bringing you any more information I hear about Magic Con Minneapolis.